Socialist Zoran Mamdani's wife, Rema Douaji, appears to wear luxury $630 boots to swearing-in ceremony. The cardinal sin of wearing expensive boots while also wanting buses to be free, working class people to have somewhat affordable lives? You can't care about the working class if you could afford to purchase luxury or expensive things. That's not allowed. Trump is building a golden ballroom. See, but you don't understand. Trump's allowed to do that, but Mamdani's wife isn't allowed to buy expensive boots because Mamdani cares about the working class. God forbid somebody buy something expensive with their own money and volition and wear it during key moments of their life or their spouses. Yeah, you're supposed to buy it with taxpayer money and talk shit about socialism. Then it's excused. You forgot about creating a Department of Government Efficiency to cut government jobs in the name of smaller government and then turn around and waste taxpayer dollars with constant golf vacations, renovating existing buildings and then slapping your name on it, constructing new monuments with your name on it, etc. But Mamdani's wife bought $600 boots. Government spending is up like $400 billion after all the Doge cuts. Well, I think what we should really be caring about is the fact that Mamdani's wife has bought $600 shoes. What a scandal. I'm officially no longer a New York City resident. Broken heart emoji. I don't think anyone's really mourning that. Mamdani hasn't even been mayor yet for a day, and the criminals are already fleeing New York City. Ah, come on, have some empathy for the man. He built the Statue of Liberty with his own hands, for fuck's sake. And also built the Brooklyn Bridge, while playing for the Yankees for 7 seasons, and All-Star for 6 of them. Just in, Trump has said again that the US needs Greenland. Ah yeah, for reasons that are definitely not for minerals and profit. Of course not, because the US are definitely the good guys right now. Danish Prime Minister has responded. The Kingdom of Denmark, and thus Greenland, is a member of NATO, and is therefore covered by the alliance's collective security guarantee. Well, I really don't think President Poopy Diaper is one to really care about international relations or international law. I know it may not be diplomatically tactful. I mean, we're dealing with Trump here. I don't really think he's diplomatically tactful. But is there anyone in the UN or NATO that would tell Trump directly that his Greenland idea is abso-fucking-lutely stupid, and that he is an apocalyptically idiotic cockwomble to even come up with something that ridiculous? An emergency meeting of NATO on how to deal with Trump's threats and not inviting America could be an eye-opener. 5 Eyes should have been cut to 4 fucking yesterday. I honestly was expecting, like, at least something beyond just words from the international community from this, but there's really been nothing, and it's gonna set a really, really dangerous precedent for the rest of the world. I'm confused. Is the US holding another country's president accountable for breaking US laws? Not the US president for breaking US law. Well, I mean, it is rules for thee but not for me with MAGA. And also, it's not actually because the president broke any laws. It's very obviously about the resources, because I mean they fucking admitted it. RFK Jr. We've not seen this very smart intellectual in a hot minute. I wonder what incredibly intellectual thing he's about to say. I was at the bottom of my class. I started doing heroin and I went to the top of my class. What the fuck? Suddenly, I could sit still and I could read. November 2024. Last time I checked, I don't think you should be recommending the use of heroin. This is the scientific and medical literacy of MAGA summarized, pretty much. Fact check. Heroin use is in fact not recommended by educational experts, or experts in general. Yeah, I'd like to hope. If the US holds Venezuela to control its oil, we will have seized a small portion, 17 to 20%, of the technology of the past. If China uses this same president to annex Taiwan to capture its semiconductor industry, it will own 60% of tomorrow's technology. This is what happens when you elect evil and stupid at the same time. The lack of awareness from a large amount of people that, yes, this is going to create precedent for other countries to do something very similar. Call another country criminal, illegitimate, whatever, regardless of whether they are or not. And I'll reiterate, Maduro was not a good leader, but they will use that excuse for their own narratives and for their own benefit, regardless of whether it's true or not. Those norms of relative respect feel like they're slipping away, and especially with the US not only threatening Venezuela, but like 4 or 5 other countries, it's really not boding well. Hey chat, if you guys want to see more of this gay guy reading stuff, you should totally like, subscribe and share, cause it really helps a lot. Also press those weird hide buttons, it does something apparently. Anyways, thanks for watching, and back to the video. Death toll from US airstrikes on Venezuela rises to 80, and the number could rise even more. So we literally just murdered 80 of their citizens, kidnapped their president, declared their natural resources ours, and then left, with the entire existing government intact. Great. Really the good guys. Yeah. Logan Paul. You think we went to the moon? Humanity has established itself in space for decades on end, and there's literally going to be a manned mission around the moon in the next 2 or so months, give or take, and we're still at a point in time where people are still denying the fucking moon landings. I really thought we were better than that shit, but hey, just look at MAGA scientific literacy. I don't think the bar's that high anymore. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I know. What do you mean, I think? To be in denial means you're intellectually and emotionally disconnected from civilization. You want the biggest example of knowing if we went to the moon? Check with every other country who has a space program. To prove the United States wrong would be a massive win for them. Yet, they all admit there's landing equipment on the moon where we left it. Right? Do people think that Soviet Russia would not have exposed us the minute they even had an inkling that it was false? I'm pretty sure Russian bots help usher along a propaganda campaign of moon landing denialism. It's been incredibly successful if you consider we're talking about it now, and the fact that it's even up for debate. I really don't think it is. I don't think you can really debate with that level of stupid and la la la, I can't hear you levels of intellect. Russian bots in the modern day peddling a baseless conspiracy in the 21st century means nothing to the Soviet Union of the 20th century, actively affirming that yes, the moon landing did happen. Erika Kirk. I wish everyone would leave me alone so I can grieve publicly with the Vice President. Please respect her privacy during her next 50 public appearances. Look, I'm not telling anybody how to feel or express their feelings, and I'm probably not neutral on this because I think Charlie Kirk had to be one of the most unpleasant people to be around, but I just can't shake the feeling somebody isn't as sad as they'd want you to think they are. Somebody probably thought, great, I get all the bonuses of a divorce without actually having to go through one. And don't forget the additional bonus of the grieving widow scam. Ice Agent's wife is gobsmacked that the cruel organisation her husband joined is cruel to him. The agency that actively has disregard for working class and everyday people to a point where they literally violate human rights and send them to an unknown country without due process might not care about the everyday person. Wow, what a shocker. My husband has served the Department of Homeland Security. I think you mean Gestapo, faithfully for over 5 years as a deportation officer, and has been treated by them as less than fucking dirt. They've forced him to stay on operations for absolutely ridiculous times with zero overtime pay, to the point where he's too tired to even eat by the time he comes home. This on top of the continuous cuts to his pay, knowing that he was diagnosed with penile cancer, and that this last year has caused immense amounts of stress for us and his family. Oh no, working for a scumbag organization, and by proxy you yourself being a scumbag, means that shady and scummy shit happens to you? What a shocker. And he's far from the only officer who gets the DHS regularly abused. Knowing they can get away with it, as there is no real avenue for people like my husband to fight back, since DHS is in bed with the unions. Kind of spelled like onions. They are an utter disgrace to the very people that go out and risk their lives for us and them daily. I think you mean go out and violate human rights daily. Okay, girly pop, you do you, I guess, and, be fine with your husband violating human rights. That's gonna look real pretty for you and him when, if, or hopefully when, the consequences finally catch up to him, and he ends up getting put on trial for the abhorrent actions he's inevitably done. Ah yes, the famously pro-union Department of Homeland Security is why her possibly dickless Nazi husband lost his job. If he was in a union, wouldn't he be making overtime? Wouldn't his pay keep increasing? Is she upset that he's not in a union? Oh, correction, union. Onion. Yeah, onion. Some public sector union contracts in the US, especially those representing federal employees, are prohibited from negotiating some things, and usually prohibit strikes and/or other work stoppages or slowdowns. What makes a union contract good are 1. Strong contact language supported by the bargaining unit, union representation that is willing to stand up for the existing contract, union representation that is willing and able to consistently protect bargaining unit demands during negotiations. Not all unions are created equally, and a lot of union strength is determined by local unit leadership and membership participation. Oh, so they're a union with their teeth fold down. Yeah, no wonder they're not able to provide as much for their members. It's like prohibiting the military from using tanks and planes. And of course a fucking agency like the DHS, ICE, is gonna have a union that's been purposefully limited, so they can do whatever the fuck they want, and be as scummy as they want to not only their employees, who shouldn't be fucking working there by the way, also, members of the public that are held at the mercy of them.